George Gascon is his name. And when he swept into office, he put into play the directive that there would be no more gun enhancements filed in crimes, that when a gun is used in the commission of a felony, usually it would tack on an extra 10 years. He wanted to get rid of that. No special rules for when you use a gun. No hate crime special circumstances would be filed as well. So that's who we're dealing with. Same guy goes on social media this weekend after what happened in Buffalo and Milwaukee with those two mass shootings. And he says, "My heart breaks for the victims in Buffalo and Milwaukee. We cannot keep offering more thoughts and prayers. We need immediate change to our gun laws. Guns have only become more ubiquitous as the pandemic created more instability. The results are catastrophic." Blah, 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 blah. There's a couple other lines. Racism, anti-Semitism, all of it that we already know. But those three sentences from a guy who did away with all the gun rules we had in place is insanity.
Deputy District Attorney John McKinney here in LA County is joining us live to talk about this statement. And when I saw that this morning, it's just a head shaker. Who okayed that statement? I know they attribute it to the DA, but who okays a statement like that? And how crazy is all of this?
You know, when I first saw that statement the other day, I tweeted about it and half jokingly said, whoever's running the LA District Attorney's Twitter account must not know George Gascon's policies, because it's awfully ironic that you would tweet a statement like this knowing that his instincts initially after becoming DA was to get rid of both hate crimes and gun allegations.
Yeah, I mean, under his policies, most gun enhancements are not allowed to be filed. There's no bail for gun possession crimes. Felonies in possession of firearms must get probation. Does he know his own policies? And how much does it make your blood boil when you, as a DA who wants to actually seek justice and have the laws enforced, when you read this?
You know, really, this one angered me. I try to be judicious in when and how I respond to Mr. Gascon. I try to stick to the most substantive policy statements that he makes. But I couldn't let this one go, so I took to social media and wrote a more substantive response to it. This reads like a person who is, sanctimonious, who knows more than everybody else, who has the audacity to wag his finger at everyone else around the country for what he calls catastrophic instability caused by guns, knowing that his brand is to not fully prosecute the use of guns in crimes. Presumably, he supports heavy regulation of law-abiding gun acquisition and use, but he doesn't bring that same energy to the enforcement side. It's staggering.
He ran on this whole criminal justice reform platform and looking out for people of color who are disproportionately affected by incarceration rates and things of that nature. But he's failing to realize that when you look at the crime rates, it's happening in neighborhoods that he purported to want to protect.
That's correct. If you look at murders in Los Angeles County over the last 12 months, 85% have been African-American and Latino victims, over 65% by guns. So if you really care about the most vulnerable communities in our county, you'd be doing everything you could to protect those communities. And I challenged him a couple of months ago. I was on television and I said, the DA can't go before the voters in Los Angeles County and utter the statement that he's doing everything he can to protect them. He can't do it because he knows he's not doing it. And I said that a couple of months ago. I've yet to see or hear him make that statement. And to your larger point, Shannon, look, George Gascon is expressing fake outrage in a statement on May 14th. Everything he does is a performance. He's acting. He's crafted this image of himself as the great criminal justice reformer who's going to end racism and mass incarceration and income inequality and every other ill known to man. When really he has no experience, he has no formal training. He's just basking in the adulation of a small group of people who used to live on the fringe of our politics, who want to abolish prisons. They want to abolish police. They want to abolish the courts. And for them, he is a hero. He loves that attention, and that's why he's doing it. He has an agenda to please them so that they will honor him.
In the weird, sorry, John, go ahead.
And no empathy for real victims at all. See, that's the other thing that is so stunning about this statement. He has shown no empathy for victims right here in Los Angeles County, but he goes on social media to express how much his heart breaks for the victims in Buffalo. Now, I hate to question a condolence or a statement of condolence, but with his history, one has to look at this and say that's just fake. It's just performative.
There is an irony. I mean, you mentioned he celebrates this plan that he has and these goals that he has to lower incarceration rates, which he may be doing, but at the risk of seeing these rising crime rates throughout Southern California and the state in general. There is a trade-off there that almost he doesn't seem willing to acknowledge, that you're seeing murder rates, shooting rates go through the roof, and sure, you are cutting down on incarcerations, but the backside of that is that crime has been rampant in L.A. County.
Right, and he'll take no responsibility for anything negative. He'll take credit for anything you're willing to give him credit for, but he won't take responsibility for anything negative that's going on. First, he denied crime was rising. Then he said, well, crime is rising here, but it's rising across the state. You know, whatever you challenge him with, he'll just deflect. You will never hear him say, I made a mistake, I own this, I'm going to correct this, and we're going to change course. Even when he walks back his policies, it's all window dressing, because if you look at the substance of how he walks these policies back, he puts in place hurdles and hoops for his deputies to have to clear and jump through in order to get these exceptions to do the right thing. So even the changes are designed to carry on the current agenda.
As frustrating as it seems for everybody to read statements like that coming out of that office, I think hearing from DAs, rank and file DAs like you, who want to do the right thing, who are still trying to do the right thing and fighting to do the right thing against your boss every day, I think is comforting for people here in LA County. Now, when I look at the recall campaign, the latest figure I can see is it's gathered 350,000 signatures, but it needs about 570,000 by July 6th. And frankly, you need a lot more than that number, because some will be decertified or whatever. So how is that going, and what do you all need to be successful?
All right, let me make it clear that I don't work for the recall committee, but I'm very supportive of what they're doing, and I've been out there on my own trying to generate support and encourage people to get a hold of a petition and sign it. I only say that because if I make a misstatement, I don't want the recall committee to be angry with me. But the last numbers I heard reported were that they had over 400,000 signatures. Now, whether those signatures were validated for accuracy or not, I don't know. And how far above 400,000 they're at, I don't know. I do know they just recently sent out over 3 million pieces of mail asking for people to sign the petition and mail it back to them. And they're hoping for at least a 10% return on that mail. So if there are people out there who got the mailer, please don't put it off. Don't let it get lost on the desk. Sign it, get it back in the mailbox today. If you didn't get a mailer, you can go to their website at www.recalldageorgegascon.com, download a petition, fill it out, and get it back in. We can do something about this. We have the power. We don't just have to sit back and complain and wait until 2024. We can make a change today. Take possession of this, take ownership of it, take responsibility for what's going on in our county, and make that change.
All right, Deputy DA John McKinney, thanks so much for joining us again. Come back anytime.